Hope I did this right. Hello, guys. Welcome to Hatshepsut Economics, Hatshepsut. And it's your girl, Connie. Thank you for coming back and being here. And if you haven't done so, you know what I'm going to say. I say it all the time. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell to get future notifications. So, guys, I'm super excited. I got Hatshepsut Live up, and I'm very excited about it because now I get to have a format to answer all of the questions that I was getting. So instead of the 500 messengers messages on Facebook, hey Brooklyn, how you doing? Instead of the 500 messengers that I was getting on Facebook, now I can actually have a format to answer questions. And some of you who are watching this may already be working with me. So thank you so much. The page is $10 to join. It's 100% private, and it's going to be all about consulting specifically catered to your dreams. So whether you are hey CC, whether you are making six figures, or you're just starting, or you're broke, or you just want some ideas to get entrepreneurship going, or you want to diversify your income, or you just want ways to invest, I am here for you. So I offer the wealth coaching, credit coaching. Hey, Carol. Hey, Vanessa. I offer the life coaching, all that good stuff, and it's going to be private. And that's why I did the page like that, because you guys are talking about financials. You guys are talking about, hey, how you doing, guys? You guys are talking about personal financial goals. So I just wanted to make the page a bit more secure. And also, you're going to have group consulting and stuff like that. So it's $10 to join and $10 a month. That's it. That's all. And you have access to me, talking to me directly. And I'm also, hey, Alex, I'm also available for one-on-one consultation. So I'm really excited because I used to spend a lot of time going through my YouTube and answering. You guys know I'm passionate about answering questions. If you ever leave me a comment, I'm always taking my time. Hey, Gloria. I'm always taking my time to answer questions. So I want to talk about several topics today that I think is imperative for people that don't know what Hatshepsut Life is. It's not just, hey, Roxy, I have mods. Yes. Carol, I think I made you a mod. Where's your wrench? I didn't do it right. Let's see if I can do that now. But I have my computer here. I'm such a nerd. But I definitely want to talk about, hey, hi, what's going on? Hey, Twin Fish. I want to talk about goals in general. So it doesn't matter what your goal is. Not yet. Okay, I gotta fix it. I'm turning on my computer now for you. Hey, Benny. So it doesn't matter what your goals are. And if you guys have questions, you can ask questions about investing and stocks and bonds, about debt resolutions and stuff like that. And the reason why you see I'm so crazy about economics is that no matter what you're trying to accomplish, you need a certain economic platform. So even if you're rich, you can lose money overnight. Even if you are, wealthy, you see people claim bankruptcy. And the reason that happens is because we don't plan and we're not proactive. So it's really important for us to set that stage and, plan ahead and be proactive. So I want to talk about, it's Pia. I want to talk about the economics, the hottest stock. Okay, right now there's several stocks that's hot. I'm sure you guys hear about cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are huge. But what I want to tell you, I'm glad you asked that question. There's something called high risk and high yield. So yield is actually what you can earn from that stock. But on the other side, with high yield comes high risk. So a lot of times black people ask me, or just black women mostly, ask me, what do I think about those stocks? I always say this. This is my simple wealth coach advice. Always be prepared to lose whatever you invest. So meaning that, hey, I see you guys there. So no, I'm not going to give the tea here. I'm just talking about basic investments. That's going to be on the page. So you guys, that's why I made Hatshepsut. And I think $10 to join and $10 monthly is reasonable, especially that we're talking about financial information and people are emailing me their business plans. So again, it's going to be, no, Vanessa, that's right. You can check me because I be crazy sometimes. So you just want to make sure that you have an idea. So when I read books and wealth books, and I'm going to do a book review as well, you want to make sure if you're investing in the stock market, you understand you can lose completely what you invest. So I like for people to build capital. So if they do lose it, they're not jumping off the bridge. Like on Monday, did we guys see what happened with Warren Buffett? He lost $5 billion in one day, but he's walking around mad cool. He's like, if I lose $5 billion in one day, all my wigs would turn white. Every single wig would turn white. So that's what I mean. He can afford to gamble at a high risk and a high yield because he's Warren Buffett. So that's a good example in terms of, what you laughing about that. No, every wig, every bomber clot wig would be white and shiny if that happened to me. Every single one. I'm not even playing. Even the natural hair at the side would start curling out gray. He lost $5 billion in one. That's right, Storm. He lost $5 billion in one day. So when you ask what's the hottest stock, it really depends on your economic standing because there's different ways to invest. There's conservative investments, which means you don't. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I just bought this one. This is wigtypes.com, wigtypes.com. So like right now, people are losing money, but nobody cares because they can afford to lose. So there's a lot of hot stocks, but it's like, what can you afford to invest? So I like to gear that towards your economic, goal plan. Not just saying, oh, right now this stock is hot. How do I know you can afford that stock? So it's not just straight to the stock market. So this is my pyramid. When you do wealth coaching with me, this is how I do the wealth coaching. It depends on your level. If you have $10,000, $20,000 that you can actually afford to lose as capital, yes, make that investment. Okay? If you don't have that capital, make conservative investments, which means real estate or investing in something that like a small business, something that has a higher return property. But if you're just investing, okay, if you're just investing, minimally because you don't have that massive capital, that makes sense. Okay, so it's hard for me to answer that question without knowing your economic background, without knowing your finances, without knowing if you're in debt or you're trying to get out of debt, because there's other conservative ways to make a lot of money, to invest in small businesses, invest in real estate, flipping houses, to invest in homes. And those are called more conservative because the housing market is supposed to be an anchor of economic strength and wealth for the American economy. So you want to make sure that you're not just looking at what's hot, you're looking at what matches your financial plans. Because for instance, hot stocks right now is GE, General Electric, with the price is about $14.45. Then you have Bank of America, Ford Motors, Advanced Micro Devices. You got Microsoft, you got Apple, you got AT&T, you got Wells Fargo, you got Pfizer. These are big, massive ass companies. You would have to have a lot of capital already prior before these things give you a higher interest. So I think the best way for us people of color, listen to me, for people of color is real estate. And that's not a secret. This is not going to be tea. Tea is going to be on the Hatshepsut page. So join the page if you want to hear tea. I'm no longer spilling economic gold tea on here. But the reason why real estate is worth it, what do we guys see that's happening in the hood? What do you guys see? Anybody? What's happening in the neighborhoods? What's happening in like formerly rough areas? What did we see? Nobody? Come on, class. Where's my hatties? What happened? Yes, Lala. Yeah, Carol. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, Alex, Roxy. Yes. Gentrification. So gentrification's happening. And if we don't stop this Ross clot craziness, we're gonna have nowhere to live. Because before we felt safe. Even though it wasn't a safe neighborhood, we knew no one wanted to live with us. So we were okay. We knew that nobody was crazy enough to want to live in Red Hook or Compton. Hey, Coco. Hey, Hattie. So that safety is gone from people of color, especially women of color, because now we're leading 60% of the household. So that's not safe when you have a bunch of single women leading the household with a lot of them being single moms. So I'm telling you, real estate is the quickest way to secure wealth. If you're living in a challenging neighborhood and you can afford to buy property, buy it. I'm telling you, there's no such thing as bad neighborhoods. In the next 20 to 30 years, most of these areas are going to be gentrified. I'm telling you something. You guys know my story. My family's from Jamaica. We grew up in Brooklyn. I grew up in Bushwick, between Decatur and Schaefer, 1352 Bushwick Avenue, East New York, 11207. My stop was the J train. I was the hood, okay? I'm talking about I've seen stuff. I wasn't a gangster, but I was running home because it was a tough neighborhood. Let me see. I have a condo buying cash relative when he once owned it. Okay. All right. So what I'm trying to tell people of color is invest in real estate. Then where are the poor going to go? CC, the poor are going to go in outer space. They're going to launch the poor into the satellite. They're going to launch the poor into orbit. They're going to be like, oh, there goes black people floating. You're going to see people floating in outer space because they're not going to put us nowhere. And this is what I'm trying to tell women of color. This is why everything's about economics for me. This is why I'm trying to get women of color to reach out. There ain't no more far suburbs. They're going to build up everything. I was reading a document the other day that says the rich millionaires have no place to go. That's why they're gentrifying, because the areas that are for richer incomes are so overcrowded, and that's why they're coming in, and that's why they're coming in. If you can afford, okay, this is the thing. I love that question. If you can afford to buy a home cash, it is superior to buying with a loan. When you have a loan, the bank makes money first. When you pay into that loan, you pay into the loan first. You don't pay into the actual money you owe, okay? So that's if you have cash, of course it's better. But most Americans don't have cash because homes start at like, I'm from New York. In my area, my house, I don't want to talk about how much my house is worth, but the medium range is about 480,000 to 500,000. That's starting. Most people are not walking around with $500,000 in cash. But what I do recommend is coming up with a 15-year plan or a 17-year plan or a way for you to pay mortgage. You have to figure out how to pay mortgage before you can actually pay mortgage, which means you don't want to go on 30 years. By the time you do 30 years, you could actually spend double what the houses cost. That's not for you. And I don't think people understand. I'm very controversial when it comes to home ownership. If your home's not making you money, son, that's not an investment. If you're using your home to live, sleep, shit, piss, excuse the language, that's not an investment. An investment is something that's actually bringing a return. So if I have 3 cash, how do you think a person's something go home? Yes, yes, cash transactions go faster. Cash transactions go through. So I'm trying to tell people, if you are living in your house, that's not an investment. Son, you live in there. It's not an investment until it starts to bring you capital, which means actual money. Yes, twin fish, excellent. And you're right about that. But in New York, it's the opposite. Manhattan has always been the great, non minority, diverse, higher end. What's happening with gentrification is that people start seeing that land is a commodity that doesn't grow. That's what I learned because you guys know I have my real estate license. Land is a commodity that doesn't grow. And what does that mean? That means it's limited. So as people were making no mortgage, yes, Carol, you're smart. I try to avoid the mortgage. But as people were making an astronomical amount on land, people actually said, gee, we can't afford to give up whole neighborhoods to poor communities because the actual land was worth money. That's what happened, is that there's no more. So if you notice Manhattan, you can't build more Manhattan or California or Florida or Houston or Wyoming or New Jersey, wherever you're from, you can't build more land. So you see they start building up. They start building high rise. And you could eventually they're gonna build high rises so high, you're gonna see Mars and Neptune. So they said, you know what, we need to go to areas that has land available and build it back up. You need to buy a big piece of land. I'm buying it. I'm buying it currently, but I'll be traveling, renting on air. Yes. Lust for life. Yes. People, get on Airbnb. If you have a house with an extra room, you can rent your room on Airbnb. If you have a house, Airbnb. So they're running from blacks in Atlanta, NYC special. But that's what I'm trying to say. Economics is the heart and soul of everything. And if you don't get that right, it's going to be impossible. Listen to me, this is very important. It's going to be impossible for any demographic to go forward. This is the cusp of the last period, which means we're entering an age where in the next 10, 20 years, you're going to have a permanent underclass. And I don't want us to be that permanent underclass. We see yes on the street. I bought a house with land. I wasn't really good at the house, the land. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Pia, you're correct. So the reason why I wanted to do this video, again, is to welcome people to Hatshepsut Live and let people know the page is live. You can join. So we're going to have deeper, more conversations. Live from the checkout line at Walmart. Hey, ladies. Hey, Chanel. So if getting a fourplex home through the first owner's loan will get me more. Yes, yes. If you plan, the only way I approve of a loan, if you plan to make money off that investment, if you plan to actually utilize that home as some type of investment power and capital growth. I don't understand why people be moving into homes that cost $700,000. Talk about it's investment. No, it's not an investment. It's not an investment till you actually put it to work in investing for you. Living in it does absolutely nothing. You can lose your home, blah blah blah, lose your job. You have to figure out a way. And yeah, and you could also do flipping. You can go to houses that are run down and you can fix them up and flip it back out. Or you can become an investment realtor. Yes. Thank you, Coco. But making sure you do that. And the reason why I talk so much about economics for black women is because economics is attached to everything. Whether you want to lose weight, if you don't have access to capital, how you going to... Because I've seen people say, yes, house flipping. Yes. House flipping. Yes, yes, yes. It's one of the best ways to build wealth. You don't have to have an education. Get together. What I want black women to do is a program called Buy the Block, where you get several black women who are not even related, and you form a legal structure, and you guys pool your money together to actually go around and buy the block. Meaning that if you're poor and she's poor and she's poor, you don't got to be poor together. And if you're not poor and you have capital, you got a master's, you got a PhD, investing in land is the best thing. Investing in property is the best thing. So that's the way to build real wealth. And you can pass that down. But I'm telling you, it's not an investment until you put it to work. If you're living in the house with 15, 20 people, it's not an investment. You're just paying. So definitely, there was a program called Buy the Block. I don't know where it is now, where they actually got black women who were interested in owning property, and they would pool together their resources. And this is what other communities do. They come together and they look at their money and say, you know what? I don't have enough money. Do you have enough? And pool together. So if 100 people are broke, 100 people are not broke. You can buy homes with available to. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. Economics, economics, economics. And people say, Connie, why are you so crazy about this? It's tied to everything. Yes. Yes. Lust for life. Yes. And I want to tell you something that makes me a little emotional. We had a wonderful black community in Harlem. It's a famous community, a historic black community, and now it's gone because we were living there and not investing. We were living there and not owning. We were living there and not doing anything. And I always said, how long do you think that type of situation is going to last. Eventually, if you own that land and you know you can raise the rent 5 times higher and bring in tenants, I hate to say this, who might even take better care of the property and pay you 3 times more with no issue, you're going to do that. You're going to do that. It's a business thing. And that's why we need to make sure we're investing. Real estate is the key because it's one of the most static, unmovable assets. So if you're watching this video and you're like, I don't need to know consultant, I got money, then fine. Go out there and invest. Work with other people. Flip homes, invest in homes, get tenants, get an apartment, learn how to invest. It doesn't take education. You can read a simple thing. If you don't know, you can talk to me. If you want capital, say, Connie, I don't have money. You could go into real estate sales and actually sell property, and you'll learn all the inside stuff and you'll make a good commission. So real estate is actually one of the most profitable careers you can get into, and all you need is an actual license that takes probably less than 2 to 3 months in most states. And then you can begin your career in real estate. You can learn and make money and make commission at the same time. But it's not okay for us to continue to be broke. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Black women, I love you, but I don't love how we accept being broke. A lot of us kind of like, girl, I ain't got no money, and that's not cute no more, because we're getting into a period where that's going to put you into eternal debt. You're going to be a permanent underclass, and we are too talented, we are too beautiful, we are too intelligent to actually let that happen. And there's too much opportunity. We're living in a world where everything's socially connected. Get into tech. To talk about app ideas. Think about what you have in your life. There's life skills. So I don't even care if you're making $10,000 an hour. There's life skills that you're sitting on right now that you can utilize to make more money. I have a couple of stories of people I've helped. I keep everything confidential. I don't really talk too much about. Yes. Yep. Real estate, everything. Yep, Pia, that's correct. So that's an investment. What Pia just said, thank you, Pia. That's an investment. If I'm working a job and I get a bonus and I get $100 and I take that $100 and I go and get a real estate license, that's an investment. I just took that $100, conservatively invested into a real estate education, and that's going to enable me to sell. So that's an investment. Investments are not just stock and the stock market. And I love the stock market. I think everybody should get into it once they have the capital to spare. Oh my God, Groupon. Don't start with my Groupon. Groupon, Groupon, Groupon. Groupon is so good. So knowing how to budget. One thing I want to talk to Black women also about, you'll hear more on my page if you join my page, is also knowing your budget. Girls, I know this is not the most exciting conversation, but you got to know how much money you spend if you want to save. You can't save, you can't spend, you can't do that, you can't invest. Yes, I'm a Groupon junkie. There's a couple of apps that I use that are on the app for iPhone, an app for Android, that helps me to spend, and not help me to spend, but help me to budget myself. The first key is knowing how much you spend monthly. So I don't care if you make $200,000 a year. I don't care if you make $300,000, $400,000. I work for big box retailers that make billions of dollars. You see the camera shaking, billions, but they're horrible at budgets. They're constantly in a deficit. They're constantly, in the red because they don't know how to work their balance sheets. So if you are trying to save, you have to know how much you need to spend. And if you're not good at that, get an app. I'll probably come back in this video and put the links of the apps I use. They have tons of apps that will help you to see how much you save, see how much you spend, and track as you go. You need to save about 20% of your income if you want to be comfortable, but not saving. I want to talk about saving too. You don't put your money in the bank. Connie, what did you just say? I just said it. You don't put your money in the bank. You got to find a way for the money you make to make more money and make more money and make more money. So that means your money's going to constantly be multiplying. Connie, what you mean don't put money in the bank? Is that girl crazy? She trying to be controversial? If you put your money in the bank and you're not getting a huge return on interest, you're actually losing money. What does that mean, Connie? What does that mean? Put it like this. You ever watch The Honeymooners? I said this before. Ever watch The Honeymooners, the old episodes, right? And Ralph walks in and be like, Alice, you bought that fridge for $2.50. And we all bust out laughing. Don't worry, I'm going to put that savings app in there. And we all bust out laughing. You're like, damn, TV used to cost $2.50 back in the 50s. I'm Stick with me now. Stick with me now. The reason why we're laughing is because now that same TV is, or that fridge or whatever it is like $500. That's called inflation. So if you put your money in the bank, if you put $10,000 in the bank now, and you came back 100 years later, that $10,000 will not have the same economic buying power. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? So just picture Ralph Cramden from the Honeymooners or any old ass 1950 shows, the Jeffersons, I don't know. But just picture putting a certain amount of money in the bank back then. I'm like, yeah, son, I'm dabbing, I'm saving. And you come back, the money will be there, but the economic pull of that money, the buying power of that money will go away. You'll be like, yo, what can I get for 250? What you can't get for 250, that's the question. So I try to tell Black people, look around you. When you go to neighborhoods that are higher in poverty, what do you see? What do you see when you go to middle class, lower middle class? You see banks, a lot of banks. I used to say, wow, we ain't got no money, but Bank of America here, Chase is here, Capital Bank is here. It's because they know that people like us will not know more, because this is general knowledge, but a lot of people of color and minorities don't know, yeah, dabbing, they don't know that putting your money in a savings account is throwing your money away. You're better off keeping that money in a safe deposit box. If you're making $150,000 a year and you're not, oh, Pia, why you lost? Uh-oh. One of my moderators are lost. Uh-oh. What happened, Pia? So, well, Cece, let me tell you a story. The American dollar has to be slightly devalued. If you notice, when the dollar is strong, the economy slows. So, that's just the way it is. When the dollar is strong, the economy slows. The dollar is always going to be a little bit underneath because the pound is always worth more, and all the crazy crap. Because believe it or not, most of the people that get the economic world turning are not Americans. So surplus. Okay, so this is what I mean, Pia. When you have investments, there's different types of investments. There's conservative investments and there's high risk investments. So we'll use women as an analogy. So the high risk investments, we'll call them thoughts. That's the thoughts, okay? So you go out with them, there's a good chance you might get laid, boobs are showing, ass is popping. They're thought. The conservative investment, she's covered up. You don't know what you might get, but you know that nothing's crazy going to happen. She's conservative, she's boring, but she's a safe bet. She's not going to get you dragging no mess. She's conservative. That's the way you do it with investments. The high risk, high yield will give you a lot of fun for nothing, but you can risk losing a lot. The conservative investment is not going to give you a dramatic amount of money at once, but for the long run, it might give you a consistent form of income, and it's safe. There's minimal risk in that investment. I hope it makes sense. So the thought is going to give you the fun and short-lived. The conservative, classy one is not going to give you a whole bunch of rush at the same time, but for the long run, this is something that's going to give you consistent income, passive income, and gradually be able to become a reliable source of a diversified income. Hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. Okay, there you go. That the thought versus the classy lady. You got it right away. So, when it comes to that, that's what I mean. So if you start with safe investments, conservative investments, moderate investments, then you're making all this money. When I say surplus, it means you have capital to spare, and capital is money. Meaning that if you were to lose this money in the stock market, think of Warren Buffett. I saw Warren Buffett today on MSNBC, son. He just said, yeah, I lost $5 billion. First of all, when you begin the sentence with, I lost $5 billion, and you're smiling, that's what you call surplus. He has capital to lose. So, I mean, anyone who sits there with a smile, because me, woo. All right, let me see. I'm so happy you know your shit. But oh, thank you. So yes. So yeah, he's talking about I lost $5 billion, and this is what I do when I lose capital. Yo, Warren Buffett is a thug. He came on TV talking about I lost 5 billion. You know, how much are you worth? What you mean you lost 5 billion? That's like 10 lifetimes of Connie. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I want you guys to join Hatshepsut Life so we can talk about the secrets. And it's for everyone. I don't want people to think that it's only for broke people because, you know, it doesn't matter unless you're rich enough to the point where you don't have to work, then Hatshepsut Life is not for you. But if you have capital and you want to know how to invest it, or you're working a great job, but you want to be your own boss, so you want to diversify, or you have an existing business, but you're looking for ways to maximize it. That's what I do. I'm a maximizer. Ask anyone that works with me. I maximize 100 lifetimes of betting. I maximize businesses. I give business ideas. I look at things and I try to multiply the actual income. I do that with myself and I do that with people. And sometimes the most simplistic thing can give you a fantastic return. So yeah, Warren Buffett's a thug. I was watching him today. He was like, yeah, I lost 5 billion. That's capital. Imagine you lose 5 billion. Like I would have to live 1,000 lifetimes, and even at 1,000 lifetimes, I'm not gonna be that calm. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be that calm. So you should do a green pill series. You know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Um, because I don't think most black women get how economics touches everything. It's not just about money, it's also mental health. Okay? If you're stressed out at work or you're having distress in your life, depression, anxiety, you could take a leave of absence. You can go on vacation. Not if you ain't got no money, if you ain't got no funds, you might have to stay at a job that's abusive. You might have to stay in a situation that's not the best for your mental health. And that's what I'm talking about. Economics is tied. I don't know if you guys were here last time. Tell me if you were here. And they were actually talking about, yes, green pill, yes. Well, they were actually talking about, yes, and they don't want us to, but they don't want us to. I saw, who's this? I saw, what does this have to do with Hatshepsut? Is somebody asking who she is? Is somebody asking who she is? Hatshepsut was actually one of the most economically successful Nubian leaders of ancient Egypt. She actually was supposed to be a surrogate or acting queen until her stepson come of age. But just like a typical black woman, she said, I ain't doing that. I'm taking over. So she actually elevated herself to God status. So back then, the pharaohs were thought of to be ancient gods. So she said, you know what? I'm going to turn myself into a pharaoh. Because if she turns herself into a pharaoh, which is back in ancient times a god, you can't really demote a pharaoh. So she purposely elevated herself to God. And her stepson had to wait her entire lifespan until she actually died. So the son was kind of salty. When she died, he was actually scratching out the face, cutting off the nose. But she was a African Nubian Egyptian pharaoh, and she actually was economically superior in the sense where she brought big financial improvements to Egypt. Actually, one of the most, yeah, actually one of the most economically successful ancient rulers of Egypt, and she was one of the few Nubian pharaohs from the kingdom of Kush, which was one of the few African dynasties that actually, yeah, few African dynasties that actually ruled Egypt for a very short time that did purely Nubian. All right, so Kushnites, yeah, yeah, yep, and Hatshepsut came from there, and she was, you could tell she was black, because only a black woman say, psych, throne, what throne, son? Only a black woman does that. Like, throne? What throne? What you mean? I'm a pharaoh now. That's right. Bow down. So it's really cool, but she was economically superior. She opened up trade. She opened up finances. She actually was the one who actually developed interest rates for kingdoms that borrowed. She was a brilliant and brought a very good level of growth for Egypt, one of the highest ever in documented ancient Egypt kingdoms. All right, so there you go. That's why it has a split. Thank you. Thank you. But anyway, when it comes to economics, The number one thing that Black women miss is how it's tied to everything. And you really need to make sure you know how much money you spend. Don't be scared of it. I'm going to put the apps I use. Do not be scared of it. And also remember, before this video is gone, where I'm not going to be done yet, savings. Savings is not savings unless you're putting that money to work. And you don't have to do risk, okay? Emerald pill. You don't have to do risk. You have to make sure that you're doing conservative investments. For instances, opening a business is entrepreneurship. That's an investment. Let's just say Pia, right, Pia? You can hear me? Let's just say Pia is a secretary and she gets a bonus from her boss for doing a great job. And the bonus is about $500. Pia takes $250 of that to get an esthetician license to do makeup and eyebrows and stuff. So Pia on the weekends, becomes an esthetician. That's an investment because it's conservative. She's not going to lose it unless she breaks her hands and go blind, God forbid. And now look at this. She's making extra money. So she's like, wow, I'm making good tips on being an esthetician. She takes that money and gets what? Opens her own shop. Now she has a shop, but she still has a full-time job. She's making enough money. She takes out a loan, a conservative loan, so she can pay her workers. The shop does well. She goes to the shop. She can sell it after 5 years if she doesn't want to run it, or she can withdraw from her day job, decrease her staff, get her family there and run it. And now she can grow. The stores may open up multiple ones. She might expand and sell products from the store, and again, she takes that money and she invests some of the money into products, facial skincare. That's investments. You see? So eventually Pia might become a millionaire or 1,000 or 100,000-aire. And she might talk to her husband and say, you know what? We have about $20,000 to spare. Let's go into the stock market. Let's invest in some Apple stocks. Let's invest in GE. Let's invest in some oil stocks. That's a conservative way to do it. And even though if you lose it, it sucks, but you're still going to function. You still have the core capital coming in. And that's not essential to your function. It's not essential capital to your function. Hope that makes sense. Okay? So that's what you should do. It's a gradual upbuild. I had the opportunity to meet Mark Cuban when I went to a TED Talk. And we all know who Mark Cuban is, right? He's like the billionaire team. I think he owns the Mavericks. And he was giving a lecture about wealth. And one of the things, yes, I know, one of the things he said was stunning. And I was like, I have to share this. And I promised that I would share this. So never ever, this is Mark Cuban, who's a billionaire, never ever risk a massive amount of money if you don't have it to lose. He said it's the stupidest thing. Yep, exactly, with a college bar. He's married, ladies. He's cute, but he's married. He's cute, though. Any billionaire is cute. Sorry. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But he's cute, and he's a nice guy. He's personable. So, the thing is that he came out and said it, that if you don't have the money to lose, okay? You guys are savage. Like, if you don't have the money to lose, don't invest it. He said it's the stupidest thing in the world that people go out there and take out 50, 60, nothing wrong with no eye candy. I'm teasing y'all. I could be the worst one. $50,000, $60,000 and don't have the money to lose. If you lose it, you got to sell the farm, the kids, the house, the air you breathe. That's not what investment's about. He believed in doing what you just said. He started with a college bar. So you guys are hilarious. So stuff like that. And I also want to talk about this myth that I'm looking less for life. So I also want to talk about this. When we a long time ago, I went to the convention, Republican convention. Just I'm nosy, I'm going, and because The Rock was there, I like The Rock. So The Rock was actually talking about his history, and this is something that pertains a lot, I think, to people of color, especially Black women. So you know how they say, you got to do your passion. You got to do your passion. Well, I got a secret to tell y'all. My passion's money. My passion is waking up when I feel like it. My passion is being able to travel and eat jerk chicken beach and get fat and have a margarita and look at the sky until my eyes, ow, it's too bright. That's my passion. A lot of us have been brainwashed and conditioned to think if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Now, I'm not saying to go extreme and do a complete opposite and hate what you do, but sometimes we got to do necessities before we get to the lux. So, for instance, The Rock said he didn't want to be a wrestler. He was crazy about being a football player, right? And he went out there and gave 100%. Yes, Carolyn, mellow chicken too. So he went out there and gave 100% to football. He sucked. He literally had to return The Rock back to his parents' basement, mad broke son, with no money. He said he had $1.69 in his pocket, and that will never happen to him again. So finally, his father, who's African American, I didn't know that, who his name was Rocky Johnson too. He got his name from his dad. Didn't know that either. He said, you know what? I'm going to do wrestling. I'm going to do this wrestling thing for a while until I get back on, because he was still determined to get into the NFL. We all know the story. I don't got to go into who The Rock is. He blew up 10 times bigger than his father ever did. He had a personality. The Rock is a man. That's a man. Like, I don't even need the whole Rock. I could marry his bicep. I'll be happy walking around with his arm. I will literally take good care of his arm. Like, hi, bicep. Hi, bicep. So he's gorgeous. That's this man. It's like a man train. Man train. Man train. So anyway, don't get me started with muscles. Just don't. I got a problem with muscles. I'm in muscle rehab. You got to help me. And he's bald. I can't. You see what you guys did? Now I can't think. You women are evil to me tonight. Like, okay, just focus. Focus. The thirst is real. The thirst. Okay, anyway. So the whole purpose, he went and he did necessities, meaning that he needed money. He had a function. He had a life skill. He was his big wrestler, and he became world famous. He made $1 gazillion, and he said, if I would have stuck with only specifically what I wanted, I wouldn't be here today. And you know what's so funny? Life has a way of giving you what you want once you work and do it the right way. Now he has an HBO show. I don't watch it, but he has an HBO show where he's an agent, like a big time agent, and he's out there. He plays got like an agent something, and now he's out there on HBO in the NFL sports world. Even though he's not technically a real agent, he plays one. So he's very ambitious, yes. And now he's saying you don't have to just do exactly what you don't have to. Ballers, there you go. Thanks, Lust for Life. Ooh. Oh, thank you, Benny. Thank you. But that's what I want to tell black women. Sometimes we have to make money first. You got to keep it, okay? You got to keep it like, okay, I don't want my video to get blocked. But that's the way you got to do it. You got to put money first. And I'm not talking about dissing people and turning your back on your family. I'm talking about if you're setting out to do something and you're going to take your time, you got to look on the return on investments. And these are phrases we don't use in the black community. Return on investments. If you're going to college, what's the return on this investment? Do some research. What's the top 50 paying careers in America? That's how you should pick your education. I understand. I understand you like African studies. You can do that for free. African study your ass in the library. Because when you get out of Harvard or Columbia or Yale, you're not, oh, that's a good show? I'm going to watch it then. I'm going to watch it. I didn't watch it. But when you get out of Harvard, you're not going to be able to pay that bill with those studies. I have friends who've done this, and they're not even going into careers for stuff. There's certain careers that don't pay. And unless you have a trust fund or a mommy and daddy to take care of you, you need to be very strategic. When I do career coaching for young people, career coaching for mature people, executive coaching, like I said, you can contact me. But when I do career coaching for young people, I keep it very simplistic. I go online and I say, look, what's the 100 most top paying careers? Print it out. There you go. Pick one of these. See you in 4 years. Get your ass out of here. Bye-bye. That's the way you do it. You can't go to college blind. Not anymore. The price of college is increasing. The cost of life is increasing. Inflation's not playing around. Life is getting very serious. A lot of people talk about millennials, and say, oh, they're late. No, no, no. Life is serious. Like back in the day, you can get a regular full time job and you can get a regular thing and you can't make life. Like now you got to do plans. You got to have blueprints. You literally have to go to war with economics. You got to be really proactive. So if you're watching this and you're a parent and you have a son or a daughter, I really like you guys know how I feel about college. I'm an Ivy League grad. Look at that. I ain't paid Cornell the whole thing, so they took away the D out of my word. I'm an Ivy League grad. Okay? And it hurts me that people of color don't know the actual truth. Like, yes, a small percentage of you will make a good salary, but in contrast to what other people are making, you're losing. And this whole mantra, you got to work twice as hard and be twice, that twice is money. Listen to me, time is money and money is time. Would you work twice as hard? That means you're getting paid half. All right? So you need to do research. And when I coach people that are younger and mentor them, I tell my nephew too, look at what the career can pay. Look at the longevity, look at the lifespan, and also look to see the global economy, because sometimes you have tech careers and now they're importing people from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and India and Pakistan. And now Americans who went to school at tech and these PACE colleges are getting outsourced with their jobs. So it's really important to understand the economics of it. And also, this is a good part for us girls, since we're all here. You can, I was reading a book, and it's a Japanese, I have to put the name up there. It was by a Japanese author, and she was talking about the extremely low divorce rates from Japanese couples. I'm like, yo, why is it so low? Like less than 2-3%. What is that? What is that? Hey, hi, I'm a Cornell grad. Tell your son I said hi. Study hard, study hard. Congratulations. That's a good thing. But the funniest thing is that I was reading the book to see, yo, why they, you know what I'm saying? Why they divorce is so low? Is it because of the food? Is it because of that silky hair? I don't know. So basically, in Asian culture, before they get married, ladies, listen, come close, because this is how they secure. This is not a secret. I think it's just out there. We just don't know. Okay? Come close. They discuss finances like a beast before they get married. They know each other's debts. They know each other's savings, credit scores. And let me tell you something. It might not sound romantic, but the end result is a long-lasting marriage. So finances and marriage go together. So it's not about gold digging or anything, because I don't even believe in that. I don't believe in gold digging. I don't think it exists. I'm sorry. I've been around rich people my whole life. I lived in Manhattan, worked in Manhattan, travel, and gold digging means that girls are chasing guys with money, whatever. So they do, Roxy. They do, Roxy. So there is actually a formula that they use. So let's just say I'm a 7, and the guy that wants to marry me is a 2. The marriage won't happen. And you might say, damn, yo, that's mean. It's not mean, because 90% of the marriages in America divorce because of what? Money. After the first couple of orgasms wear off, after the shock value of the penis and vagina wear off, and you got mortgage and you got bills and nothing's happening, you don't want to be a slave to economics. You don't, it just sucks the life out of your relationship, because you can't even enjoy each other. You're basically working to live and living to work. And that's very dreary. It puts the stress on the marriage, the stress on the relationship, the stress on the children. So they're very strategic. And it's not about just rich marrying rich. They also talk about ambition. Okay? They also talk about ambition. So you know what ambition, what message retracted? I haven't seen that one. RC, behave. But they also talk about ambition, meaning that even if you meet a man or a woman and they're not there at a certain economic level, but they have strategic ambitions to get someplace, like a Steve Jobs or a Mark Zuckerberg or a Bill Gates. These people weren't born rich, but their spouses prospectively saw their rich ambition. And exactly. And it's not just about I think money in the black community is so sensitive. It gets very hostile very fast. Men get very defensive. The women get very defensive. And it's like the Juma. It's like a hot wild, wild west. And the fact is, you have to talk about money before you get married. You have to, because it's going to help to either make for a better marriage or prevent a bad one. You got some people who don't care about credit scores. You got some people that owe 15 credit cards. You got some people, oh, it's okay, sweetheart. I don't care about your typos. I'm not a feminazi. I'm a Cornell grad. I spell anything that I want to. So people be correcting me. I'm like, don't let me take it out. Don't let me take it out. So anyway, I'm mad cool. I don't care about that. It's YouTube. It's not midterms. Write what you want. But a lot of times people don't understand the far-reaching implications of economics, because if anything happens, it's stress on the marriage. Your roof for your house mess up, stress on the marriage. Your kids need tutoring because they're failing in class, stress on the marriage. God forbid one of y'all gets sick, ooh, stress on the marriage. So it's really important, not just the economics, but also the ambition thinking. Meaning that some people are, put it like this, some people are okay being Homer Simpson. Meaning that you come home from work, crack open the Duff Beer, you sit on your couch, and exactly, they sit on the couch and they're fine. They're content living their life, the rest of their life that way. And guess what? It's a free country. But if you are an ambitious woman, if you're talking about you want an ambitious life, you want a certain level of prestige, that's not going to work out. You can't put Homer Simpson with Princess Diana. It's just not going to work out. And you really have to look at that person's ideals on money. And people don't talk about money. Like when I was a HR person, when I was working for David's Bridal, I was like a senior HR executive, and I used to do all the hiring, recruiting, and training. Listen to this. I used to see black women come into David's. You guys can get mad at me if you want to. I'm not a snob. But I don't think black women realize a wedding and a marriage are two different things. If you guys are both broke and you guys are starting out in life, God bless you. Because my parents started out broke 40 years ago. They're fine now. They're sitting on hills. But you don't have to have a wedding. You can get married. Okay? Marriage is the legal aspect. I don't know why these girls are spending tens of thousands of dollars they don't have. If you don't own a home, you don't own a car, if you don't got a credit score over 750, you should not be saving and wasting money on a wedding. I don't get it. And these girls used to come into David's Bridal and put wedding gowns on layaway. What you mean, son? Why are you putting a wedding gown on layaway? Are you serious? You gonna put that baby on layaway that you're about to have? Because that doesn't work like that. You gotta get your priorities in order. I used to see girls come into K Jeweler because I also used to work in jewelry. Yeah, I'm Jamaican, I had every job. And they used to come into K Jeweler, listen to this, and the boyfriend would run their credit. These are black couples, and his credit don't work. And then she run her credit. I'm like, first of all, stop. Stop it. Get wedding bands. Go find a job. Go invest in a company. Get out of here. I was laughing inside. And then the girl would come and put her own engagement ring on her credit card. And I have to tell these girls, yo, if it don't work out, you still got to pay for that. Engagement rings are final. You will have no idea how many women try to return their engagement ring. I'm like, nah, you got it. Sorry. Where are your priorities? It's just crazy. Like, and I know some people on here saying, shut up, Connie. I save for my wedding. I'm not shitting on you because the culture is strong in America. They tell you to spend, 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 spend. And we see the weddings, we see the channels. I don't care anybody says. Every woman loves say yes to the dress and bridezillas, and we see all the luxe weddings. We're like, And there's nothing wrong with that if you have the capital to lose. But if you don't own a home, you don't own a car, you don't have any investments, you're working from paycheck to paycheck, you got a low credit score, you can't put anything on credit because you don't have credit. Think about your priorities. You can still get married I used to plan weddings for people under a severe budget. There's so many tricks. You can get married in Central Park in any of the conservatory gardens for $100 for up to 20 guests. All them times you be seeing, on in Central Park, all that stuff, it's free. They just got to give a donation. I suggest for people that want to have a romantic wedding, marriage, to do a destination wedding. And I always get pushback from black women that say, I want my family to come. I'm like, yeah, but you can't afford it. It's really about your day. And it's traditionally, it's crazy. Yeah, oh, Chanel, I hate to say this because I have a positive channel, but sometimes you gotta let the cat out. You gotta let the cat out. Most of the black women that came into K Jeweler paid for their own ring. Most. I'm being honest with you. The guy didn't have credit, and they would run their credit. And I'm like, well, do you realize? Do you realize if y'all break up? I had this one black girl that came into K Jeweler, and beautiful, I mean, gorgeous, beautiful girl, copper skin, like copper, like a penny, straight weave, nice weave, walking in. And she was like, my engagement's broken up. It's been 5 months. I want to return the ring. She came with aggression to try to intimidate me. And I was like, ma'am, the diamonds are gem scribed with your name on it. Here's the sign. It says engagement rings. Because I was an HR director and I was there. And I worked in the store. And they're like, Connie, what do we do? I'm like, what you mean, son? What you mean? So I said, you know what? Let me call my VP. And the VP said, he'll help her. Listen to this. I want you to listen to how crazy we can be as women. The VP said he can help her. So he wouldn't give her back the money, but he would give her the full amount towards anything in the store. So I said, that's nice. So I immediately start taking out tennis bracelets, diamond ones. This is a real story. And I started taking out Movados, Movado watches. She said to me, I can't spend all that money on myself. I said, miss, you can't get the money back for the ring. We're allowing you to take that money back, to trade the ring in. We're not going to give the money. She can trade it in for full value. I said, you can buy yourself some stuff. She kept saying, what am I spend $9,000 on? Let me get this straight. You paid for your engagement ring, but you can't $9,000. What? I will go crazy. What? Early Christmas gifts? What? I said, buy yourself a nice Movado watch. Buy yourself a diamond tennis bracelet. And yeah. And she was like, no, I want the money. I said, well, you can keep the ring and sell it back, because we don't give back cash at K Jeweler for rings. Not our own rings. We just don't. Or you can trade it in. And she was like, I don't feel like going around looking for a seller. I'm like, well, I'm so sorry. I said, you know what? This is a tough time for you. I really apologize. But I said to her, I said, listen, please, think about it. You can get a nice watch. And in my head, I wanted to tell her, keep the damn diamond, because the watch has no resale value. The diamond has value. It holds its value. But that's what I'm saying. Or exactly. But that's what I'm saying. We don't talk about economics. She got to that point because we don't talk about economics. And you'll hear people saying, well, he don't got to make the same you make. Actually, your man should make more. And this is what I'm going to say. I know people are going to say, Connie, oh my God, your man. Exactly. Ladies, thank you. I'm reading it. See, thank you. I'm reading the comments. Thank you. It's crazy. So, ladies, your man should make more than you. And if a man says to me, you evil witch, let me tell you why. Statistically speaking, especially if you're black women, y'all gonna love me after this. Black women are the lowest paid minorities in the United States, even with a master's and PhD. Okay? They just got spoiled. Well, not all men. There's certain men that have a problem with that. We know what this is. We know what this is. Like, I don't want to get my wig twisted. We know what this is. I don't like to spend time on the Ray Charles of men because I don't see shit. If they shit, I don't see them. So, yes, we're paid the lowest even with degrees. Let me just tell you the statistics real fast. Listen to me. My birthday is on February 24th. I don't have money to go buy myself anything. So I stopped smoking cigarettes. And, oh, thank you. Good. Thank you, Benny. So let me just tell you the truth. Okay? You're going to, even with my master's from Cornell or PhD, anybody in that same education bracket that's not a black woman is going to make almost a quarter more or higher. Okay? Good for you, Benny. I'm very happy. That's good. And listen to this. I'm not done with the statistics. Y'all know I have the receipts. When companies start doing, thank you, Carolyn. When companies start doing bad, guess who is the first ones to get laid off despite top performance? Congratulations again, Benny. Guess who's the top one to get laid off? Black women, women of color. That's two strikes. When we get pregnant and we work for companies, we're the ones, all right? We're the ones that tend to get demoted, or our job becomes vacant, after we have children. And then we are the ones that struggle to pay for childcare because it's crazy. Some people will go back to work and literally it's costing them their entire paycheck to actually be able to work because they have to pay for that child. That's madness. That's what I call madness and stupidity. That's called the lack of economics. So, I know women that work for no reason. They're in a relationship or they're, you know, married and they just have to work. And I'm like, how much it costs for childcare a week? 2,200. Your husband don't think it'll be better for you just to stay home because you spending 2,200 and you got to take out a payday loan and an advance loan just to pay the babysitter. What is wrong with you? Stay at home, work a business at home, online business, e-commerce business, YouTube, do something, but figure out a way to do it at home. So it's crazy. I didn't grow up like that. My mom didn't work until we're way after kindergarten. And my dad worked two jobs and they saved money that way. But the thing is that you have this culture that's kind of warped and economically they don't understand. To me, that's poor economics. How are you going to work and basically you're giving 80% of your check back to the babysitter? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So that's a lack of economics. And I think even the people in the relationship don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense. And also, very controversial. I think you have a baby, you might want to take care of it. You have to understand the role as a mother is imperative to cognitive learning skills. So that means your child, this is something I learned in psychology. Your child will only be as smart as whatever happens to it from age 0 to age 7. 85% of the intelligence, their learning and comprehension skills happens during those years. So if you're not there teaching that child, grooming that child, it's a very shaky period because who's actually making that impression? I know it's scary to think about that, but a lot of times moms who are really engrossed in their child's life, the children are more intelligent. The children are more intelligent. The children are more socially adaptive because being a mom is something that the black community I don't think really respects. Like even the term baby mama, it's just a very nasty term. And economically, it's not respected because if you support the woman, she's gonna do more for the child than just be a baby mama. She's gonna be a teacher, preschool. Like my mom stayed home with us until after kindergarten. And I remember, oh my gosh, Botanic Garden, Prospect Park, the library, Brooklyn Library, Manhattan Library. I remember the InfoQuest Center, Science Center, Planetarium. Like she actually was engaged in being a parent. And that's why my father respected that. It's not like she was a mom sitting home watching Jerry Springer eating bonbons. She truly was engrossed in the development of her children. And that's why it was able for a young West Indian couple to live in the worst part of Brooklyn and bring up three decent children that graduated from colleges, good colleges, because that was the marital unit that supported it. When both of them are working and both of them are out the house, and God bless everybody, because I know it's not easy. Economically, it's not. But when they're out there, you really have to realize it has an impact on that child. And that impact could be economics on you, tutoring, getting left behind, not being able to get scholarships for college because they don't have the social, the intelligence. It's a domino effect. You know, I didn't grow up with my parents, and being a mother is the most important part. Oh, Benny. I like Benny. Mm. So, that's what I'm saying. That's why I did Hatshepsut Life. And that's why I'm running the page. I don't want to talk too much about the tea and all the magical stuff we can do to make money because, again, I want that to be confidential. And I also want to respect the privacy. Some people ask questions about their finances. So, again, it's $10 to join. The page link is there. Aw, Benny, we love you. Listen, there's a lot of salt out there. My page is the honey. I believe, I'm going to tell you something personal about me. I believe in positive energy. I had a lot of challenges in my life and I overcame and I grew. And I'm very, very successful. And the only reason I was successful is because I believe in the power of visualization. And I believe in the power of positive energy. Some people don't believe that. Let me tell you, there's a lot of jerks out there. We got that Blackistan thing. Notice I don't talk about it too much. When you feed people, even if you're just being offensive and protecting yourself, you give into that negativity. And also, you have to see how many. Oh, my own website. I'm so lazy. I need help with it. I'm doing like 10 things already. Somebody want to help me with it. But you really have to listen to me, Black women. You really have to focus on visualization. I was 254 pounds. I had endometriosis and PCOS, which is two chronic disorders. So I actually do counseling for that too. And I didn't, I had to visualize myself slim. I had to visualize myself healthy. I used to have a Facebook page with nobody else on it, and I had images of slim, sexy women, and that was my kind of like my visual vision board. I used to look at stuff. I used to use positive affirmations. And the reason why I say this is because no matter how bad you want something, you can only have what you believe. So with economics, you'll hear people that are wealthy all the time kind of talk about an exaggerated sense of belief. Because if you don't believe you can have that wealth, it doesn't matter what you want. I'm going to say it again. It doesn't matter what you want. It's what you believe. And oh, thank you. Thank you, Brooklyn. So if you don't want a loser ass, ashy ass guy, visualize in your head the type of man that you want. And I'm a testimony to this. I never gave up. You got to visualize. If you don't want to be overweight, I don't care what your problem is, visualize and believe it. Because how often, listen to this, how often do you tell yourself, I love you? How often do you look in that mirror and say, I'm beautiful, I'm worth it? I know it sounds mad cheesy, but how often do you give strong positive affirmations to yourself? Your subconsciousness is more powerful than your conscious, meaning that the subconscious part of the mind that teaches you how to have your accent, that teaches you your gesture, that teaches you what colors to like, that's a subconsciousness. And it's kind of scary because that's what dominates your persona, not what you're conscious of. Like, I don't know why I don't like vanilla ice cream. I don't like vanilla ice cream. I love chocolate. I don't know when that shit happened. Something in my childhood gave me a predisposition to like chocolate. It's not the same when it comes to men, so don't worry. But like, but that's what I'm trying to say. You have to really train the mind. And a lot of times, I'm going to tell you another secret. That's not a secret. Whenever you're trying to accomplish a goal, your brain automatically puts on a procrastination. And do you know why your brain does that? To protect itself. Because your body don't know. Your body's innocent. Your body thinks, okay, Connie, Benny, Pia, CS, CC, whoever, they've gotten this far in their life functioning a specific way. when you try to make a change in your life, okay? When you try to make a change, your body tries to pull you back because they see change as a threat to your existence. It's a natural human mechanism. So that's where we get procrastination from. And there's methods, I coach with that too. It takes 66 days to break into a new habit, whether it's good or bad. It's not 22 days. That's crap. The scientific one is 66 days. So you struggle with veggies, you don't have to struggle. There's a whole world out there. There's so much things you can do. And if you're trying to lose weight, you need protein. Figure out how to get massive protein, creatine, whey protein. I do it all. Like after I got PCOS and I saw the neglect of black women, I got a PCOS video. I do PCOS weight loss coaching, insulin resistance. I do everything. That's why I don't got kids. So yeah, Carolyn, you know why? Because that's actually addiction. Processed sugars triggers the same parts in the brain as cocaine and stuff do. So back to what I was saying. If you guys want to if you guys want something to come true, get a vision board, cut stuff out, put it in a part of your bedroom that you can't avoid. Do a slideshow on your phone. Watch it 5 minutes every morning. I'm telling you, it's scary. It is it is scary. I've actually freaked myself out doing that because I could not believe when you focus on something, whether it's good or bad, with a conscious content to focus, it comes to life. And a lot of times it's terrifying because it's like, wow, how much how much power is it? And it's not some mystical, religious witchcraft. It's not about that. Our consciousness connects to reality. You ever think about somebody and you see them, or you ever think about a food and somebody brings it to you, you can tell them greedy, or you just think whatever you have an intent on, it goes out into the world. So talk about what you want. Stop talking about what you don't want. If you keep talking about what you don't want, it's gonna I did both. CC, yeah, I did both of those. If you guys listen, if you guys are interested in weight loss, let me know. I'm going to tell you another secret. If you're more than 40 pounds overweight, there's a 95% chance you have an undiagnosed hypothyroidism problem or an undiagnosed insulin problem because the body gains fat due not functioning correctly in terms of breaking down sugar. Sugar is fat. So basically, we eat too much excessive complex processed carbs. And when you eat those carbs and it doesn't digest, it gets stored as energy. What's energy? Fat. So that's why it's good to eat mostly an 85% protein diet because if you're not taking excess carbs, the body has no choice but to burn the existing fat. But if you keep taking in more and more carbs, your body's not going to do any burning of the fat that exists. And remember, you want to lose fat, not muscle. So fat loss and weight loss are two different things. You want to lose fat, not muscle. So you got to focus on diets that forces the body and tricks the body to burn existing fat. So we covered everything tonight. And that's the economics of weight loss. I know I've talked about it before, but to lose weight, you do need a certain economic standing or network with somebody who does. And the reason why I say that is a lot of black women have health issues they're unaware of, health habits they don't know how to do, or they don't have access. I see a lot of people talking about fasting. You gotta get protein. Protein builds muscle, and muscle burns fat. How did I learn that? By going to a seminar. Economics of weight loss. Again, nutrition is extremely important. Also, when you're working out, you need to lift. You gotta burn. You gotta get muscle. You gotta get muscle. Not only Brooklyn. Not only does protein fill you up, but protein actually burns fat because it builds muscle and muscle burns fat. So if you have to lose 40, 50 pounds, the worst thing you can do is this calorie restriction because you don't want your skin looking like a piece of tissue paper. You want to make sure you're eating and getting nutrients that support, yes, CS, you know why you're losing hair? I can tell you why. Because the nutrients, the minerals, and the vitamins that support hair growth are not being given to the body. Just like when you're pregnant, right? If you had a baby, I don't have any kids, I have a cat, but I have friends. And you start taking prenatal vitamins, what happens? Your skin start glowing, your hair start growing, your nails are growing. It's because you're taking excess of the vitamins needed to support those things, right? Right? So it's important to you, listen to me, it's important to make sure you get the vitamins and minerals you need. When I lost 120 pounds, people were like, Connie, you don't have loose skin. I'm like, hell no, I ain't got no loose skin because I know what makes collagen. And I know what to put into my body to support collagen. So you got to make sure, you know, yeah. But you shouldn't have to lose hair, ladies. You shouldn't have to. That means something's deficient in your diet. Whenever you lose hair or anything happens, that's your body talking to you, like, yo, what's up with that? So you got to respond to that. Yeah, or get a woman's daily vitamin or get nutrients. And again, this is economics of weight loss. Losing weight can be expensive, and that's why it's important to get your economics on pair. Yes, because you know why? You're losing, and that scares me because if you're losing hair, how does your skin look? If you don't want to age yourself. There's something that happens when you lose weight. You can actually accelerate your aging. You don't want to do that. Because when I was losing 120 pounds, my first concern was, how old am I going to look? Because I'm 38. I'm 38. And that was my biggest concern, was like, am I going to lose? Yeah, yes, Carolyn, avocado is good. So, you know what? The next video, I'm going to do economics of weight loss, the whole thing. I did it last time it got taken down. I don't know why. But also, before I go, a secret to achieving any goal is attaching gratification. I think I talked about it last time, but I'm going to keep talking about it. So if you're going to, yes, Brooklyn, that's good. Water. Yes. So yeah, I'm telling you, it's because you're doing calorie restriction and you're not getting the nutrients you need to get because you're restricting your calories so much, and you're not looking at actually the nutrients and the healthiness of the food. You're looking at numbers, which can cause permanent damage in your collagen. It can cause permanent damage with your hair loss, and not just outside. Yo, you got vital organs to think about, son. You got liver, you got kidney, you got the heart, you got the lungs. You got to make sure that you're fueling those vital organs. You don't want them shits to shut down. You got to be careful. It's a serious thing. So, and it's not necessary. Yes, Irish moss is amazing. You mean seaweed? Yes, yes. I can go through a whole list. I actually have a weight loss coaching thing. If you guys join me on Hatshepsut Life, I'll share it there. And again, it's a great page. It's secret. It's confidential. I think it's time for it because some of the topics we talk about, hey, Callie, some of the topics we talk about as Hatties, fellow Hatties, I just don't want it to get too much out there, especially with finances. And people shouldn't know all of our moves, especially with money. So just keeping it there. So before I go, because I'm going to go right now, the most important thing about achieving a goal is attaching your goal to gratification. You're like, Connie, what is that? So if you have a weight loss goal, a financial goal, got a debt goal, any goal, get a husband goal, I don't know what it is, glow up goal, plastic surgery goal, whatever it may be, you want to make sure you reward yourself. So something you love to do, or something you want to buy. You can buy yourself perfume from Tiffany's. You can go to the spa and get a facial. You can go on Groupon and treat yourself. Yeah, spa, spa, spa. You can get a facial. But the thing is that you have to attach something positive so the body can get past that procrastination. This is a method I got when I was doing my counseling. And they were like, you have to attach. It could be a bottle of perfume. It could be a hamster. I don't know. A new wig. Yes, yes, that's yes. So makeup, nails, getting a pedicure. Ah, that's right. You see Benny? She's using Benny. Congratulations. Congratulations. Give a clap. Give you some snap fingers. But that's what I'm talking about. She's attaching a positive emotion. So it's like a hurdle for her to go over. But the body says, okay, if we do this thing we don't like, we're going to get something we do like. So, congratulations, Benny. Congratulations. You're using positive gratification. And that's the way you achieve goals. If you got a weight loss goal and you like, shit, God, every week or every other week, take yourself to the spa. Go on Groupon, 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 Groupon. I love Groupon. Go on Groupon. Get a microdermabrasion. Get a massage. Do whatever. If you don't like massages and spas, take yourself to your favorite healthy restaurant. Just figure out something to do. Take a weekend off. Yes, good for you. That's not easy to do, Benny. So really, congratulations to you. But figure out something you love to do and attach that to your goal, no matter what the goal is. And also get organized. I'm going to put some links before I go in the description box for savings, budgets, and also a schedule. Organizing your day. I know it sounds very simplistic, but if you schedule yourself, organize yourself, get a nice planner, you can use your phone. I think the phone's the most best one, but you can write down if you're old school. Actually, scheduling your day can make your goals more visualized and more concrete. Yeah, yeah. If you when your hair fall out, yeah, you could just use natural stuff, and yeah, it'll come back. But that's a symbol. It's not just about hair. Before I go, guys, that's a symbol of vitamin and supplement deficiency. Very important. Ladies, our hearts need certain vitamins to function. Our kidneys, our liver. It's not just about the hair. You got to wonder what those deficiencies are doing to other vital organs you need to function. You always hear people who are athletic dropping dead, or people that are slim, having a heart attack. It's because you can't see the damage inside. So that's why I'm so passionate about eating healthy foods. And there's things that you can use that could accelerate the weight loss. Like if you want to lose weight, get some whey protein. You want to lose weight? Get some creatine. Anything that builds that muscle. I'm telling you, you want to lose weight? Get some CLA, some CLA. You want to lose weight? Get some omega-3, fatty oil, fatty fish, omega-3, sardines, mackerel, tuna. I think it's called rainbow trout, and also salmon. You got to get that stuff. There's a lot of secrets you're missing, but protein is the key. Start making that whey protein. They even have casein protein before bed. You got to get a lot of protein. There's actually a formula that tells you how much protein you should be taking in at your weight. And again, drink mad water. You don't like water? Fine. Put in that crystal light. But drink a lot of water. Really try to reduce, because water helps to expedite. Okay? So definitely get, ladies. So I have to go to work tomorrow. But I just wanted to talk about Hatshepsut Life. It's there. I'm excited about the page. And it's $10 to join. $10 monthly membership. And I think it's necessary because, oh yeah, teas. Try to drink mad teas. Green teas, black teas, teas. All right. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Also, make sure you guys check out CK's Pink Pill. Um, pink pill. And that's it. If you have any questions about getting on the page, let me know. But in the About section, it tells you the form of payments I take. I take the Google, Venmo, and Apple Pay. I don't do PayPal because there was a breach on it, and I got to keep you guys safe. Good night, guys. Love you guys. Bye-bye.